Hey Asheville, welcome to this month's late morning show. Our Creative Mornings Asheville chapter just had our talk earlier this morning where we had Kevan Frazier, an Asheville native, speak to us on silence, the theme for this month. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing well, Tim. Thanks.
Your talk was powerful.
Thank you.
And it's not going to be on the video for you to see, but the whole event was silent. 30 minutes of 180 people in silence.
Yeah.
It was like there was a presence in that space.
People were really grooving with the silence this morning. We'd been concerned about that
We
when we were framing all that up, but actually I think folks, maybe this time of the year and all the things that are going on, they needed a little extra quiet space.
And like real quiet, no music, nothing, just the shuffle of feet. I thought it was powerful. Anyway, what we like to do this time to get a little more casual conversation with the speakers, and we have a couple questions that we always like to ask at the beginning, like what excited you about the theme this morning of silence? What excited you personally about this theme?
Silence is really difficult for me. It's been a learned skill to appreciate silence, and that's been part of my own personal journey, and today I really value silence. Mm-hmm. It's part of the way I start my day. It's part of what we talked about in the talk. But when I heard that was the theme, it really resonated for me because that was something I could talk about that's been part of my own personal journey.
And when we approached you for this talk, I didn't realize how much of an experience level you had with silence. And throughout your talk, I started seeing it, and it was, you brought wisdom, not knowledge.
Thank you.
And that I think is, especially in this time where there is I saw some things written on the board. Downstairs we had a whiteboard where in the silence people could write what they felt silence was to them. And you had everything from like a space to contemplate to it's dangerous, your silence won't protect you. So there is this opposite extreme feeling on silence in some ways, and you brought this up in your talk, which was beautiful. In some ways, people are kept silent.
Right.
And it's dangerous, and it's dangerous to break that silence. But then how we use our silence, where we have freedom and privilege, becomes more important.
Absolutely.
So I felt it was a very important morning, especially in this season. We're all contemplating the year and everything. What was the highlight of this morning for you?
I think the highlight of the morning was actually before the talk. I didn't go hide out in the back. I stayed and walked through the crowd, and it was interesting to see how people who I knew that were coming, how they wanted to greet me, and how we just sort of gave each other an eye. Maybe we gave a fist bump or gave each other a hug.
Start getting creative.
Absolutely. And just to see, some folks were in a very inner space, but other people wanted to be connecting, and it was interesting to watch how they were choosing to do that without using their voice.
Did you get any whispers in the ear during a hug?
No. Everybody was just, they were purists with it.
Colby and I were talking about how well do you think the community would do with the silence, and I was impressed.
I was too. I mean, I think our community that comes to Creative Mornings is probably because most of them are creative folks. Most creative folks know how to connect to the silence. That's oftentimes where creativity springs for them. So I think we have a group that's probably a little more attuned to silence than if we just took a general group of the population. But still there were some discomfort, and even for folks for whom silence is comfortable, part of that message was, don't take it for granted. That it's not for me, I came to realize it's not a void, it's not an absence of sound or light or anything like that. It's really a tool. It's a blank slate for us to keep wiping clean through things like meditation and mindfulness, so that we've got that space to work on.
Yeah, it felt like it's not a lack of things. It's actually something in and of itself.
Absolutely.
Silence.
Absolutely.
I think one of the most moving points in your talk for me was when you brought up how you have some of your friends who are introverts, and you're their extrovert connection.
And they're token extroverts.
Yeah, they keep you around to keep the conversation going, most likely. But then you brought up a situation you had with one of your friends where you will call each other and can stay on the phone for 10 or 15 minutes as long as you hear each other breathing in relative silence. And you said something which is so timely for this time of year. You said it gives them space.
Absolutely.
It gives them time. So I thought of silence as a gift, to give people space, to give them the opportunity to speak or the opportunity to not speak. It's a giving.
Mm-hmm.
And in your meditation practice that you shared in your talk, it's also a getting of. So it's a give and a get synergy that starts to form.
Right.
I thought that was so powerful.
Thank you.
So what I got a long. It was going to be a question, but I think it just turned into more of an encouragement to you.
Oh, thanks.
So we won't read that part of it, but we have 3 questions that we like to ask at the end of
Okay.
this, and they're like rapid fire questions. So you like to just think of the thing that comes to your head first, and then go with it.
I'm ready.
Okay. Favorite time of day?
It's in the morning. It's my time with a cup of tea, clearing the decks for the day.
And when you say that to me, I know what you mean, because that's the talk. Covers your morning. It's beautiful, and I'm inspired. I'm going to turn my morning into something similar. Favorite spot in Asheville?
My favorite spot in Asheville is, I actually like just hanging out on Pack Square. I love watching the folks. Like, I'll grab a little cup over at Bomba and just sort of watch and do a little bit of people watching.
I thought you were going to say well played.
Well,
Kevin
I wanted
owns-
to say well played, but I thought that's a bit, self-aggrandizing.
So, yeah.
So, yes, and my other favorite spot is definitely well played.
I mean, my son loves it. I love it too.
Thanks.
So we come there often. Kevin also owns Well Played Board Game Cafe, which is an awesome place to enjoy company and community. Last one. Who comes to mind when you hear the word creativity?
Who comes to mind when I hear the word creativity? It's actually one of my best friends comes to mind. He's an amazing poet. At one time, did that in spoken word performance, but has moved into other circles with that. And when we first were getting to be friends, he said, "Well, I'm a poet," and that's sort of like when somebody tells you, "Well, I'm a writer," and you're like, "Oh yeah, I bet you are." And then he read a poem, and he shared a poem with me, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And he's the one that we're on the phone and just hear each other breathe sometimes, just to give each other space. Yeah, because and frankly, through our relationship, I am such a solution guy that if there's a problem, let's find a solution.
Try to fix it.
And I came to realize that we didn't always need to have a solution.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily what somebody's looking for when they're sharing their heart or their head with you and just needing to get through. Sometimes they just need to be heard.
Yeah.
And you need that silence to be heard.
In that presence.
Absolutely.
That like human to human presence.
Sometimes you just need to know somebody's got your back.
Right.
That
Someone's
somebody's
there.
got your back.
Yeah. Because there's so much noise. This has been a great morning, and it's been really good being able to get to know you more, and for the audience to get to know you more. I love that you're from Asheville. I think you bring a real beautiful quality to Creative Mornings. And if you don't know, Kevin's been to, I don't know how many of our Creative Mornings, so you're also
I've been to most of
veteran.
them. I was at the very first one.
We even had it at the Masonic Temple,
That's
where
right.
you're involved in that as well.
Right.
So it's been an honor to have you here.
Well,
And so
thanks.
thank
I
you for
appreciate the
doing this.
invitation to speak for this month.
It's been good.
Thanks to all the hard work you and all the team does to pull off. It's a total professional operation, totally run by volunteers.
I know it's a pretty impressive feat. So we're gonna put any links in the bottom of this video if you want to catch up with Kevin or get to know him more, and you'll probably see him if you stop in at the Well Played Board Game Cafe. So that's it. Thank you. Have a happy holidays.
Thanks. Happy holidays, folks.